To make a custom loot table in Minecraft, first you need to open the method generator and then go to loot table. I will be using 1.21.6 or 1.21.8, but this can work with other versions. You click pool and then how many items you want. In this case, I'll do 2, and then you can add different items by clicking the plus. I will add 4 items. One will have a weight of 5, one will have a weight of 4, one will have a weight of 2, and another of 1. Weight is basically the probability. The higher the weight, the more likely it is to get picked. So for the first one, we'll do a acacia log. But for the second one, we'll do a trident. But let's say we want this trident to be enchanted, we'll add a function. And this function will basically add different stuff to it. Like you can have custom model data, which is great if you're adding custom items. You can make it damage or add enchantments. But I'm going to do random enchants. So I'm going to enchant it with levels, add a float, and I want it to be enchanted with level 30 enchants. Now I'm going to add a water bucket, but I only want it to show up when it's raining. So I'll go to conditions and add a weather check. Conditions will only happen if that condition is met. Or what I'm trying to say is that will only be in the loot table if that condition is met. Like this, it will have to be raining, but it doesn't have to be thundering. But if it is raining, a water bucket can appear. If not, it can't. And for the final item, I'll do a rail. And this time, if you want, you can add a function and a quality. Or a function and a condition, not a quality. And then you can also set lore. And in this case, it would be this would be like what would appear below it, and I'll do rail. And then for the condition, I'll do a time check. And if it's, let's say, 1,000, then it can appear. So that way you can make custom items. Like if you have a custom resource pack and data pack that adds items, you can make custom items only appear during certain conditions, which is perfect if you want to add stuff that only happens in certain loot tables. Now we'll go over to Visual Studio Code, and we want a folder called loot table. Depending on the version, it may have an S, but all newer versions should be loot table without an S, along with any other folder, and we'll make a new file called example.json, and this will be the name of your loot table, and you can just paste it in after you've copied it from the method generator. But let's say you want to add it to Minecraft. Instead, you would go over to Minecraft, add a folder named loot table, and then you can find a loot table to override. And then once we're in, we can type /reload. And I have it so it says load if the data pack loads. So that means my data pack's working. Now I can do /loot give piglin gold loot, and then example, or actually sorry, my namespace is namespace, but you would do your namespace and then your loot table name. But my namespace is namespace, and then my loot table name's example. If you have other folders, you would have to write the folder name and then / then the loot table name. And it gave me two tridents enchanted with level 30 enchants. But how do we want to get this into like vanilla or in a chest loot table? Well, we copy this, the namespace and then loot table, and we go back here and we open up MC Stagger. Then we can make a /give command, and we'll have it give us a chest. Now, we won't do container. Instead, we'll do loot table or container loot. And then we paste it into there. So now we can copy that command. And when we give it to us, it'll give us a chest that when we place can't be opened in spectator because it has a loot table that needs to be generated by a player. Inside of here, we'll have our loot table. So I got Acacia logs the first time, and then I got an Acacia log and trident. But now, let's do /weather rain. And now if I place this, I should be able to see water buckets after a little bit. And right there, we have a water bucket. That means everything is working correctly and the conditions work as well. Great. Now we have custom loot tables in our data pack.